Oh, Juventini, wake up a bit. Can we have a bit of desire? Can we have a bit of passion, that will of playing the game of today? Because what I'm reading here in the comment section of YouTube, on social media, is total depression. Looks like nobody wants to play the game of today. We already take the white flag and it's over. We will never win the game of today. We have absolutely no chance. It will be a disaster. Villarreal will destroy us. Oh, calma. Oh, it's football. Guys, I know that we come from 3 draws in a row. We come from the Dortmund draw, the Verona draw, the Atalanta draw. I totally understand it, but if you are realistic, we only played one game of Champions League with 7 to go. We are at -1 in Serie A with 33 games to go. There is a really long way, and I know that the news that are coming from La Continata, that the 2 players, fundamental players that didn't travel, are making things much more difficult than they could be. I totally understand that, but let's play the game of today, and then we can speak about the first initial mini depression in Champions League before playing against Real Madrid. Let's play the game against Milan and understanding if yes or no we will be at -4 from the top or maybe not. And then we have the international break to sum up these first 8 games of the season. But today, calma, please calma. Do I feel overconfident, extremely reassured to here put my face and tell you that we will 100% win today? No, I'm not, but I want to play the game. I first want to do the pre-game, the watch-along, and the post-game this evening here on the channel before going into that depression mode. Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I want to go towards what Cabal said yesterday in press conference about la musichetta, the music of the Champions League, that is giving you goosebumps, that is making you forgetting everything what happened before, making you sure that you are focused on the game of today and not the one against Milan. Because today it's Champions League, today it's Villarreal against Juve, match day 2 of Champions League. And I want that Fernando Llorente, that today spoke on Tuttosport with the double page interview, is right when he's telling us Juve win this evening and turn the page, open a page that can be much more optimistic. Juve vinci e svolti are the words of Fernando Llorente. Also because it's important already to win today, because going to Bernabeu with 4 points of 6 is much better, of course, than to go with 2 or with only 1, because the games of Champions League are difficult, all of them. And look at yesterday, Bode Glimt. Look at a lot of other teams, what the result were of yesterday. Chelsea having really difficulty to play against Benfica. Liverpool that is losing against Galatasaray. Every game is extremely difficult. Every single game. So don't believe it's easy. Champions League, especially if you are taking away 2 of the 3 backbones of Juve, Bremer and Thuram, that are not traveling with the team, so 0 chances to see them today wearing the away kit. Who will wear it? It's Kenan Yildiz, because he will start. Now that intro has been done about motivation, desire to play the game, telling you that who will be absent, and we didn't say that Conceição will be back, but he's there today without the 90 minutes. Let's go a bit towards the tactical, the formation, what Tudor has in mind. And it's really, really funny in a way if that lineup will be confirmed, because looks like or Tudor is watching the channel, or I start, and I'm happy about that, to understand his way of thinking. Because Bremer and Thuram, let's be totally honest, we knew that there would have been possibilities to not have them playing against Villarreal today. When did we know? We knew it immediately against the Atalanta game, with Bremer that is asking to be subbed out, with Thuram asking the same because he was feeling something at the calf. So I'm not a genius, guys. I'm not Nostradamus. I don't have that crystal ball, even if we like to laugh with it. I don't have it. So we know, we start thinking logically about a team that could play today without Bremer and without Thuram. Will we be able to beat Villarreal? That's a huge big question mark, of course, but Tudor is already preparing the game against Villarreal since the minute that the triple whistle has been whistled against Atalanta, and he's preparing it without Bremer and without Thuram. He's thinking about how can you beat that 4-4-2 of Villarreal that at the moment is really in form. And the idea of Tudor is exactly the one that we explained here on the 29th of September. So we are speaking about Monday, not a 3-4-2-1 like the papers are reporting, because that, I believe, that's really a limitation of a lot of fans, a lot of journalists even, that are not open to think that there could be potential changes. They're not always able to read games, because when I read Tudor is stubborn. Tudor, it's 3-4-2-1 until I die and I will never change it. Well, it's wrong because we played in a different way against Inter, because we played a different way against Atalanta, going toward a 3-5-1-1 if we want. And that's a bit what we will do today with the men that you have seen spoiled by Giovanni Albanese. There could be a change. They could be Perin into the goal over Di Gregorio. I told you that I didn't want any changes after the Dortmund game, which he didn't do. If he does it today, I have absolutely no problem. The one that is most informed, the one that is most informed physically and mentally can start the game of today. I have absolutely no problem with that. And if it's Perin, it's Perin. Bravo, Mattia Perin. If it's Di Gregorio, full power to Di Gregorio. So what about the other 10 men? Well, we go towards the one that I predicted on Monday. Kalulu, Gatti, and Kelly. Of course, I have put Bremer because I didn't know about the physical condition, but it will be Gatti in the middle with Kalulu on the right, not as a right wing back, but as a right center back. And then we see Cambiaso on the right side, Cabal on the left. Is this not something that we are asking since so long? Or at least I was asking, because Joao Mario is at the moment not giving you the balance to start the game, but it's more a player that can change you the game at today. In a few weeks we will see. But against a Villarreal that is playing that 4-4-2, we were speaking here on the channel of going towards reinforcing our midfield that with Cope minus Locatelli would not have been dynamic enough. Having a McKennie there together with Locatelli could have been a good idea, but you need to reinforce to have that superiority there in the middle, and looks like this is what Tudor is doing, to go towards that 3-5-1-1. Also, to have a really wide Cabal, to have a really wide Cambiaso, so that Yildiz is not obliged to go up and down, but staying closer to who? To Jonathan David. To Jonathan David that should start the game today. Yildiz plus 10 is actually the word of Gazzetta dello Sport today. I would say Yildiz plus Kelly plus 9, because Kelly is absolutely not out of form. If you are looking at physically, it's probably the one that is able to still guarantee us a few games with 90 minutes in the legs. Yildiz, he will be there because it has been confirmed yesterday by Igor Tudor. He doesn't want to lose that third part of that backbone, Bremer, Thuram and Yildiz. Then will he do the 90 minutes? Depending how the game will go, probably not, because on the bench, and that's the good news, we have really lethal weapons, because a lot of people will tell me, Beppe, but if you play that 3-5-1-1, we are losing a Dusan Vlahovic, we are losing an Openda, we are not playing a Conceição, not playing a Jegrova. Well, first of all, the Portuguese just come from a game that he was not even called up against Atalanta in our home, because he's not in top form, because he was not able to finish the game against Inter, or I don't remember, the one against Verona, sorry. But he's not in 100% top form. Like Jegrova is probably not ready to play the 90 minutes. So we have these weapons ready for changing the possible game from the bench, like Tudor showed us this season, that from the moment that it's not going extremely well, he's ready to change them. So this is the lineup of today. The only thing that I don't see in that lineup, like Gazzetta is reporting, like some journalists are reporting, is that Juve is already thinking about Milan. I don't see it. I think that this is really the strongest team that we have on paper from the first minute, with the one on the bench to change the game, to beat Villarreal. They are all thinking about that, only about that, because it will be a tough game. That 4-4-2 of Villarreal with tough players to play against. Mikau Dace. It's already 3 years that I speak about Mikau Dace. Buchanan, that since he left Inter to go there at Villarreal, has been a key player to them. A Molero, a Pepe. Oh, they have a really strong team. An ex-player, Renato Vega from Juve, that is doing really well. It's a team that is there on top with Real Madrid and with Barcelona of La Liga. They started extremely well. It's a team that is coming from 3 victories in a row, Osasuna, Sevilla and Atletico Bilbao, that they just won 1-0 in the weekend. So it's a team that is super in form with strong players, so pay attention to them. On top of that, it's a team that is not losing at home since I don't know when, I believe 7 games at home that they don't lose, so they are really strong. On top of that, you put that historical part that is extremely important in 2 of official games we didn't win. 1 draw, 1-1, 1 loss, a disaster, lost 3-0 in Champions League a few years ago. On top of that, you even have to add a friendly that we lost 1-4 years ago. So I know. It's not easy. We don't have a lot of good news to play against Villarreal. Today, of course, logically, the draw is more predictable than any other result, but I want to believe in a team that Tudor really studied to do something in 90 minutes against Villarreal, thinking not only about the men at disposal, but also tactically about how to win the game. Tudor has been in the last few days criticized a lot about not being able to excel in his tactics. Well, it looks like Tudor really did it, really worked on that. What were the words yesterday in press conference of Cabal and Tudor? Few. I want to line up to point out 3 words by each. Well, first of all, Cabal, mamma mia. What beautiful news to have a smiling player. Oh, he changed also my mood. When I see so many depressed Juventini, well, yesterday Cabal was absolutely not depressed. He was there with a huge big smile. He was extremely happy. He made some jokes, like, for example, what is your preferred position? He said, I play as a striker. I play there up front. I want to play. Joking, of course, and then he said, whatever. I play where the coach wants me to play. Doesn't matter, but I want to play. Looking at the coach, it was really funny to see that beautiful atmosphere in press conference of Juan Cabal. His smile, his positivity is really something that was contagious. What about fatigue? Well, he was the first one to answer on that. He said, no, we are not tired. When we listen to that music, we forget everything, and we want to focus only about Champions League. I wanted to go to USA to start to learn what the coach wanted, how the team was, etc. That was really hard to me, but honestly, it was much more harder in a physical way than in a mental way, because mentally I am quite a strong player. So I was happy to hear these words from Juan Cabal. And then about Tudor, that he changed. It was a different Tudor than the one that I criticized before the Atalanta game. Yesterday I saw a smiling Tudor. A smiling Tudor that wanted to speak. He was there to speak. I don't know if he really wanted to or not, but the impression was, I'm ready. I don't want to cut with yes and no answers. I don't want to go into a battle with the journalists. I'm here to answer the questions. He spoke also about that fatigue. He said, no, Yildiz is playing, and just to tell you that he's also worried, of course, that he's paying to every single detail. Yesterday he was there immediately in reminding us that we played against Atalanta and that we ran 122 kilometers, the most run since he is the coach of Juve. So he knows about the physical state of the players, and even if, yes, we are tired, because it's something that is extremely visible, he doesn't want to take it as an alibi, he doesn't want to take it as an excuse. He also answered again about an answer, how strong is Juve if we want, because the question was, where can Juve arrive in this Champions League? He said, look, it's extremely difficult to predict today, but it's difficult to answer, but we can do our thing. We can say our thing in Champions League. We want and we can be a hard bone, a difficult, tough bone for every single opponent. I believe in my team. And then he smiled and he said, is it a political answer that I'm giving you? Yes, but it's good like that in front of everyone. And he started to laugh. I really believe that the press conference pre-Atalanta was debriefed with the communication staff. He understood that the words that he said probably were not interpreted really well by Juventini, so he wanted to change, also using their sarcasm, saying, okay, you get it, we are a team that want to play, that can play against every single opponent, we can say our thing in Champions League. Are you happy with that answer? That is probably politic, that is probably the one that you want to hear, then I go with that one. But it was a total different Igor Tudor, how he behaved yesterday, than the one against Atalanta. And then he also spoke about the strikers, saying, look, seeing them all together there, I hope not, because that means that we are not winning. That means that we are losing at that moment, and that would be terrible. Then in part of game, can we see all of the strikers? Yes, we could, but hopefully not, because that means that we are not doing extremely well. What about the other ones? Corriere Sport is speaking about Inter that won yesterday with an easy start of the Champions League, and also if on top of that they are giving them gift anyway. Tudor sceglie Yildiz e altri 10. Tudor is choosing 10 Yildiz plus 10 others. Look, today we'll need more than only Yildiz. I want a big game. I want a strong Juve today. I want a confident Juve today. I want to go with a Juve that is able to win and to stay into the game for 90 minutes. Let's see. We'll find ourselves here. We will meet for a pre-game watch along and post game here on the channel. I count on you. If you didn't yet, please put a maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe. Grazie, forza, Juve. Hey, dai, wake up.